Am I the asshole? For refusing to rent my house to my finances mother? I just don't want to be my family's landlord. I think doing business of any kind of family or future family is a slippery slope. I own a second home that currently is being rented out to a few people as a shared house. The master bedroom is now up for rent as the previous tenant moved out, and my family wants to rent my room. The location and neighborhood is perfect for her, as well as the size of the room and amenities. She's willing to pay the full rent and sign a lease, but I told her I don't think it's a good idea to have a landlord-tenant type relationship with her, and she's really upset and has refused to talk to me for days now. My reasons for not wanting to rent is primarily because the long-term purpose of this house is for my parents to eventually retire in when the time comes. Maybe in 5-8 years. I expect my parents to move in and have the whole house to themselves eventually. It's my retirement gift for them. My parents and my family has met once before and they absolutely did not hit it off, because not only did it become apparent that they come from very different background and social statuses and therefore have very different topics of interest and opinion on things. Fml got so drunk at their first meeting, she started getting really loud and also made a comment about how she's glad I am a lawyer because her and her daughter's futures will be taken care of by me. That rubbed my parents the wrong way, but they liked my fiancé and trust my judgment, so they're just going along with it. I know if Fml were to move in, she will not be moving out on her own accord, as my house is in a city that she has always wanted to retire in. I think I'd be in a very weird spot in about 5 years having to kick her out in order to let my parents move in. I'll admit secretly another reason is also because I'm concerned about her being late or completely missing paying rent and having to handle the awkwardness of dealing with that. Maybe I am an asshole for being concerned about that since she doesn't have an eviction record and don't think that problems missing rent at other places she's lived in before, but I do know that she is an alcoholic with a gambling addiction and has filed multiple bankruptcies, one very recently, and is always asking her kids and multiple ex-husbands for money, so I do not want her to get comfortable with me and end up trying to live rent-free. I don't want to have to go the legal route to stop her from that. It sounds like a nightmare. My fiancée is okay with whatever I choose to do. She personally confided in me she too don't have confidence that her mom will pay rent regularly and told her mother she thinks it's a bad idea. Her mom is mad at both of us but me specifically. Am I being unreasonable and asshole here? Don't rent to her. I'm glad your fiancé is with you on this. Let your family be mad at her future in-law now. Far better than her being mad at her in-law and landlord later. Not the asshole. I do know that she is an alcoholic with a gambling addiction and has filed multiple bankruptcies, one very recently, and is always asking her kids and multiple ex-husbands for money. Not the asshole. This is not someone you want to rent to, family or not. Not the asshole. Her and her daughter's futures will be taken care of by me. If she really said this, then she sees the room in your secondary house as the first step in being taken care of. Your fears re non-payment of rent and your refusing to move out in a few years are valid. It is never good to mix family and business. You are likely to have a fight with her about this. The best fight to be having is the one where you refuse to start down a potentially difficult path. Not the asshole. She'll get over it or die mad. But you won't be her landlord either way. Do not rent to that woman. All of your concerns are very real, valid ones. Also, her behavior since you first declined this suggestion should tell you everything that you need to know. She will become a problem. Don't take that on. Your planned gift of an entire house for your parents' retirement is so generous and loving. I hope to raise my son to be as giving of spirit and considerate as you seem to be. Your parents must be so fiercely proud of you as a person. Not the asshole. Absolutely not the asshole. Your fears are reasonable and I do the same. Not the asshole. It's your property and you have every right to choose who you want to rent it to. Plus, Considering the issues with your FMIL, it's completely understandable why you wouldn't want to enter into a landlord-tenant relationship with her. Trust your instincts on this one. Not the asshole. If both you and your fiancé think it is a bad idea, then don't, after all they have known her longer. Plus all your other reasons are valid, just be prepared for an extended adult tantrum when she doesn't get her way. Not the asshole. Saying no won't ruin your relationship as much as saying yes would. Not the asshole. You don't want to rent to an alcoholic gambling addict with a history bankruptcy. What an ideal tenant. I bet the only reason she doesn't have eviction issues is because her family bailed her out and now you would be part of that family. No will suffice, and enjoy the peace and quiet while she gives you the silent treatment. Not the asshole. Everything in your post proves that you're making the right decision. Listen to your gut. And if your mill is planning to pay market rent, she can find another landlord to rent from. Not the asshole. Do not rent to family. They'll be late to pay rent or even skip payments, but it's okay because we're family. If they cause major damage, you'll just have to fix and forgive because we're family. You'll be expected to put in all sorts of upgrades for free because, drum roll please, we're family. We paid a hefty fee to learn that lesson. Not the asshole. Your FMIL is an alcoholic. Do not rent to her on that alone. Oh no, your mill is giving you the silent treatment. What in the world to do? X200B. You got your spouse's agreement and blessing. Just tried it out. Not the asshole. You will not regret your decision. Even your fiancé is like, nope, lol. Not the asshole. And I am glad your fiancé agrees with you on this. Not the asshole. Another thing to consider is that if she would be living with your other tenants, she will absolutely think she is queen bee of that household because her daughter is dating the landlord. Not the asshole. Do not rent to her. Only rent to her if you want a miserable, chaotic experience that you'll deeply regret. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Her giving you the silent treatment and being angry is proof enough what a nightmare she will be for you as a tenant. Her retirement is not your issue to solve. She's got a shaky history. I'd avoid that rabbit hole if it were me. Not the asshole. If she's already acting badly about the room, imagine if someone goes wrong. The roommates aren't to her liking, she decides she is going to withhold some rent for one reason or another and eventually has to move out to accommodate your parents. She is clearly showing you that she would be an awful tenant. I want to add that it is okay to say Mill, I understand that you don't agree, but we don't need to agree. It is my decision, and I've made it. Not the asshole. But I think your fiancé needs to take the lead with her. Tell her the discussion is over. That you both have said no and you both will no longer entertain any further discussion or comments. Your fiancé saying whatever you choose still makes it appear to FMIL you are the one responsible for the no and her daughter is just going along with it. Your fiancé needs to make it clear this is a decision you both made 100 together. Sorry, that room has been taken. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I've never had a good experience with doing business with family members. It's okay to say no. You're not responsible for housing your in-laws. Stick to your original plan because you're right, you might not ever get her to leave or pay timely, etc. etc. Not the asshole. Trust your gut, trust your fiancé's gut. Get the room rented out to someone else ASAP. Try to find good opportunities for your FMIL elsewhere in the city if you can. Not the asshole. Don't do business with future family. Don't rent to known alcoholics. Don't rent to people who might default on paying rent, because they think they can get away with it, because family. In short, just don't do it. Not the asshole. Her reaction giving you the silent treatment is the exact reason you don't want to rent to her. What's the reaction going to be when she has to move out? I bet she plans to run any housemates off and guilt OP into letting her have the place to herself. You are smart not to rent to Mill. Not the asshole. If she refused to pay rent and be nasty to your other tenants,